Right, that's recording. We are creating, constructing a triangle. Can anyone tell me what the difference between construct and draw is? Go on, Lola.
Constructing like a scale drawing when you measure it off, when you draw a triangle, just draw a triangle.
When you draw a triangle, you just draw a triangle. Constructing generally uses these things. Yeah? So we would use a compass and potentially a protractor. We're going to be using both. We'll start with a triangle from 3 sides. So if we are told 3 sides, we're going to be constructing a triangle with 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and let's say 7 centimeters. Okay, now I don't know which is the base. I'm going to try, just to make my life easier, I'm going to pick the 7 centimeters as the base. I need to set my compass up, make sure the compass is stiff enough. If it's not, then you might need to tighten that. I can help you out with that maybe. Okay, so I put the pencil in the compass. I take my ruler. Now this is not centimeter square paper, but I want centimeters. So I put my ruler here and I set that to 7 centimeters. I try to do that as accurately as possible. Okay, I'm going to get a second pencil and set up one more thing. Let's open up another pencil. So the other thing we're going to do is we'll start with a baseline. We draw a baseline in and I'm going to mark off one point here. There's my point. I'm not sticking to the grid actually. I don't care. I should have done it maybe a bit wonky. Doesn't matter about the grid on the page. I take my compass. I've measured that to 7 centimeters. I put the point on the mark. Be careful. Make sure it's exactly there. And I make a light mark there. Leave in your construction lines. Now that is 7 centimeters. I know it's 7 centimeters. I write 7 centimeters. Okay. I now need 5 centimeters and 4 centimeters. So the first thing is I'm going to set my compass carefully to 5 centimeters. Doesn't matter which one we do first. And I'm going to now put my point back there. Okay. So now, oh, that's covering the camera there. Is that better? Right. I put my point just there. And I draw an arc. There's the arc. Now, that is part of a circle radius 5 centimeters. Everywhere on this arc is 5 centimeters away from that point there. They're all 5 centimeters away. And the next one I need is 4 centimeters. So I move that to 4 centimeters and I do one more arc. So I put my point on there and I go, right, that's 4 centimeters. So that's a 4 centimeter arc, that's a 5 centimeter arc. I leave the construction lines in, I carefully join up my lines. That's 4 centimeters, label it 4 centimeters. This one is 5 centimeters, label it 5 centimeters. Let's draw on the line first. Okay, now because I left the construction lines in, it tells the story of how it was constructed. Now, I must have moved my compass because I'm checking that and it's a little bit short. It's 4.8. And that one should be 4. Okay. So while I was talking, I must have jogged my compass. It's a little bit loose maybe. And that's what happened. So I'm now going to write here, actually, instead of, it's not 5, it's 4.8 centimeters because that's what I measured it to be. Yeah? If it was you, you'd go back and correct that. But this was just my example. So I might even change my example and put 4.8 there. 4.8. There we go. So I've... wrong one. Not there. There. Instead of 5, it was 4.8. Good. Okay, that was a mistake. So we now know how we construct a triangle from 3 sides. We're going to construct a triangle from a side and an angle now, and that's the second and last example. So the side is going to be 6.8 centimeters. The angle is going to be, I've got one, 67 degrees, and that's my short form for angle, and the side is then going to be 3.7 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to start with a baseline again. Here's a baseline. Right, and I'm going to mark off a start point. And I'm going to measure along that 6.8. That's another way. I could have used a compass like I did last time, but I'm going to just measure at 6.8. There it is. And if I measure something, I make a note. 6.8. Am I still on the screen? Just. 6.8 centimeters. Okay. Now, I need an angle. So this time we don't need a compass. I need a protractor. So there's a protractor. Let's take one out. It's a new one. Here we go. So, it doesn't say which side I have to put the angle. So I'm going to put the angle over here. Here's the angle. How big is the angle? 67. So check which, I'm using the outside scale. I go 50, 60, 65, 67 is here. Measure accurately. Actually, I think I'm slightly off there. I'm going to do that one again. We'll try that again. Center up the, yeah. There we go. And 65, 66, 67, that's better. Okay, so I made the mark, I get my ruler, and I join that up. As soon as I've joined that up, I need to label the angle, so I don't forget to label it. 67 degrees, shouldn't go over. Let's erase that a bit, okay. Now, the other one is 3.7 centimeters, so I can use a ruler on this. 3.7, and very carefully measure that. There it is, 3.7. 3.7 centimeters, and I can then join up this line. Now all we've done is construct the triangle. Typically a question will say construct a triangle, and then it might give you some letters to say this is X, this is Y, this is Z, and then it might say measure the length of the line XZ. So if I say XZ here that's actually 6.4 centimeters. 6.4. So your answer might be something like this: XZ equals 6.4 centimeters, and we'll be happy with that. And if you measure something, you could write it in 6.4 centimeters to label your diagram. You might be asked to measure an angle. So if you measure the angles, we can measure an angle up here. That looks like it's exactly 80 degrees. I'm looking at the inside one because 0 is on the inside, and I've got to 80 degrees. So I'm going to just mark that as 80 degrees. And if I measured this angle, here we go. That angle there is 32 degrees. Now I must have measured one of the angles slightly off, or there was a half angle issue, because 80 plus 32 plus 67, that doesn't quite make 180. I think that makes 179. So half a degree out somewhere, half a degree somewhere else, there may be a slight difference. That's an accuracy issue. I think we're done with that. Any questions? No? Okay.